to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Okay, boomer. Yeah, I know. You millennials, you don't want to be like us. And then the younger ones, forget about them. Boomers, they messed everything up. They destroyed the world. Yes, we admit it. As we're about to leave this mortal coil, we will finally admit, yes, it's all our fault. We made all the mistakes, and we're going to share those with you so you don't make the same mistakes. And since this is a show about money and retirement and planning for that thing, I guess we should probably share with you those, my goodness, they're huge mistakes that us dumb boomers made. Hi, everybody. I'm Don McDonald. That guy over there, a mere 3,000 miles away from me, sitting right in front of me, somehow is Tom Cock. And you're listening to Talking Real Money, the podcast. So let's talk about the mistakes, Tom. What did we do wrong this time?
First, I just want to say we had fun doing it. If that makes you feel
sure
any
did.
better. is that
with you guys.
Look at what we're leaving you. Piles of debt, the ecological disaster, all those things. But it was fun to get here.
Global warming, that's us.
Yeah, okay, little thing we thrown on. This is a fascinating topic because as we've discussed ad nauseum, families and money, for one thing, not easy. Children and adult children and very adult parents to discuss money, even harder. But there's about 6 out of 10 people who are retired say they have regrets about how they saved for retirement, how much they were contributed, how they I have regrets about that. I wish I started earlier.
I'm upset that I didn't start saving for retirement at 23, 22, but I was young and I was stupid.
Yeah, there were better things to spend the money on, like destroying the environment, like all the things we just discussed. I'm kidding. But they asked people, okay, what are you going to try to do better than your parents? And there was some discussion between younger people.
Where did you read this?
This was in Kiplinger, I believe.
Oh, you and Kiplinger. You go way back.
Goodnight Kiplinger was a pal on the TV show, all that. So most of this revolves around this topic that I will never give up because I don't think we can ever say it again, and that is kind of retirement preparedness. Making sure that you're actually ready to pull the trigger, not just saying, I'm tired of work, I don't feel like getting up tomorrow. And still, according to Vanguard, I looked this up, about 40% of boomers say they're retirement ready, that they've actually done all the planning necessary, right? That they've actually sat down. 40. Wow. Pretty small number.
Of boomers?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Aren't we already old?
They're kind of, most of them, us, are fairly old and should probably have.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's one. That's a big mistake.
Yeah. Not having the plan. All right. We talk about this. It's not, retirement isn't the end either, by the way. It's the beginning of a new phase of your life. So you better have a plan around, sure, the money. No, it's not. It's not a beginning.
Dude. Okay. Let me explain something to you.
Please.
This is how we're fooling ourselves. Okay. Okay. It is the
third
end.
act, man.
No, it's the fourth quarter. And it's the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
In the fourth,
a lot of exciting things can happen.
This is the last drive. There's little or no chance it's going to change the game right now.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
We don't. I hope we go in with our timeouts.
We don't have one of those really great quarterbacks who can turn things around in the last 2 minutes. No.
Did you look at the two of us recently play sports?
No quarterbacks there.
You're not a quarterback.
Fair enough. So part one is. They didn't save it. Okay, but the bigger one is they didn't have a plan. They're not ready because they didn't sit down and run the numbers. Part of which is Social Security. That's one where pretty clearly we can say a lot of mistakes are being made. It's according to Northwestern Mutual, a third of boomers plan to claim Social Security benefits at age 62. It's still only 10% that wait until age 70.
Okay. A third are going to take it at age 62?
That's what it says.
Is that a third of those that are left below 62?
It says a third of boomers.
What does the boomer period, doesn't that end in 1960?
64, I think.
So there still are some.
Yeah, there's still some.
No, there are like 12 boomers that are under 62.
Yep.
You guys wait till 70 now. I mean, at this point,
No, I don't want to because I'm not going to get my money. The government's going out of business.
Right. The government's going to shut down.
That's always the reason.
It's been, by the way, again, rewatching The West Wing. In 2000, they were talking about how Social Security was going to run out of money. That was, I'm thinking, 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Quarter of a century or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So this is a huge problem. Most of the time, what we just discussed about Social Security, that's only the discussion you ever hear about it. It's going to run out of money. Never, hey, should you have a strategy about when to do this? And should your spouse have a strategy? Yeah, you should. This should be well thought out, well planned, and not just, it would be great to have that money tomorrow, wouldn't it?
Well, it's always great to have that extra money tomorrow, but if it's a lot extra for waiting just a few more years, then, here's the thing. Think about, okay, this is for all the boomers, not the millennials. Have you noticed how time passes very quickly when you get into the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter? It's like, wow. It passes quickly in every way but politically. And that's where I'm going to end that one.
Right off the edge there.
Thank you.
I think the quote of the day so far has been, I hope we have our timeouts. I really like that.
But what was the point I was making?
No idea.
That if 62 or 63 or 64 or 65 versus 67 or 70 is not going to it's not going to feel like that long.
No.
Because the game is wrapping up, folks.
Timeouts or not. So, okay, but just to put the bow back on the top, tie this up nicely. Okay, but no, all kidding aside.
Put the bow back on the constrictor.
I wish I would swallow one of those. Here's the thing. 8% a year. 8%. Is there anything else other than some annuity some person is trying to sell you that's going to guarantee you 8% a year more? No, I don't know of one.
Don't make me do the annuity thing. Why do you
sorry,
set me up like that?
Because we're in the last
Nobody's giving you 8% guaranteed, period. It ain't happening. It's a lie.
Yeah,
it's not an 8% return on your money. That's a lie.
8% of your money, maybe, but not 8%. Yeah, or a big part of it. So please strategize about Social Security. Please sit down and please consider others in your life, because I've seen the higher earner take it early too, not thinking I'm likely to die first and the person I'm leaving behind is going to get a smaller benefit. That should be considered very careful.
Well, and that's one of the really big ones. The higher earner waiting is so critical because generally, not always, but generally the higher earner has been, in baby boomer days, the male, and women kill us off sooner. So
what's for dinner tonight?
If you want I'm cooking. Okay. No, actually, I'm taking my wife out. So, yeah. No. Anyway.
She had a birthday.
She had a birthday. So, what other mistakes have we made?
Well, okay, that's a big one.
Okay, that's a big one. You have
here's another
others,
one
though,
that
right?
people are so. Just talked to somebody this week. Great listener, love him to death. Trying to decide on another product to buy, and I sort of said, let's just step back and look at your overall plan. What's the perspective here? Rather than, I think I should go buy this. There wasn't one. There wasn't a roadmap. Most people are resistant.
They were buying whatever was hot at the time.
Exactly. Most people are resistant to getting help when it comes to this. Mm-hmm. Most people only get help from the survey was shocking. Friends and family. People turn to friends and family more for retirement planning than they do professional advisors. Think that through for a minute.
They're the worst.
Literally the worst.
But here's the problem. They don't know they're the worst.
Oh, they're trying to do the right thing.
They think they're the best because we all, and that's one of those behavioral biases that we have, that we think we're better than average at pretty much everything we do, including investing. And we know after doing this for most of our life that you aren't. You're just not.
The thing about retirement is it includes income strategies, portfolio you just mentioned, taxes. There's a lot of aspects to all this. And you're going to say, I don't want to pay somebody for that. And I'm going to say,
okay,
that's fine.
Listen
then go
to
ask
Talking
your
Real
friends.
Money then.
Yeah, exactly. But and we've discussed this many times.
Is Talking Real Money on the list as a place where people get their advice?
Fee only, 100% financial advisor, period.
Is that on the list?
Hard, cold, stop. It's on my list.
Oh, but is it on their list of people who people go to for advice?
I hope so.
I thought you had a document that
No,
said
I have
something.
no list.
Okay, never mind. Move on.
I'm only got a minute left here, so
You've
the
got more
clock
than a
is
minute.
ticking.
You can have 2.
Oh, okay. Well, how many timeouts do I have left? That's what I'm trying to get to. So
I think you have 3. I'm looking at the board. Unless 3. You have 3
I get 3
timeouts left.
timeouts?
Yeah, sure.
so
Don't throw
excited.
that red flag.
So that's, I think, here's the thing. Even if you've done a really great job as a saver, as an investor, as someone who's thought through all aspects of retirement, I still would at least get a second opinion from somebody who works at this every day. That's me. And here's
All
the
right.
reason many people don't. You know this. For fear of getting sold something.
Yeah, and that's what I have to now. I have to call you on this one because it's my job to do that. This is where it sounds very pitchy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we get a little criticism for sounding like we're selling something. Are we selling something?
No.
Yes, we actually technically are.
No offense.
Yeah.
No offense to all of you because I love you. I do. Seriously. It's great that I appreciate everybody. Just had a wonderful phone call with somebody this morning who's young and been following us for a couple of years. I do. But you need me more than I need you. I don't know how to say that nicely, but that's the truth of the matter. It sounds
Or
arrogant.
someone, and here's the thing, it's not us. No, see, this is the point I wanted to make. It's not us. It's someone like us.
Fair enough.
We're not saying we're the only ones who can do
No.
this. However, we are in a tiny minority of people who are going to do it right. That's where the real challenge comes in. So when you're going out to get help, you got to make sure that you're paying someone just a fee. It can be a fee, an asset-based fee. It can be an hourly fee. It can be a set price for a financial plan fee. You're going to pay something if you want really good advice. You're going to pay something. So anybody who says it's free is a liar. Okay, and that's insurance people. They say that all the time. Oh, it's free. You don't pay commission.
Nope, the company
or a
pays me.
lot of the sales-oriented financial advisors say that. Oh, it's free. There's no commission because this commission's built into the back end of the thing. But you're going to pay for advice, and the advice you want to make sure you're paying for is advice that actually suits you, that actually is made in a way that is as unconflicted as it can possibly be.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Bankrate surveyed baby boomers, millennials, and Gen X. What percentage of baby boomers feel comfortable sharing their bank account balance with their family members?
Oh, 2%.
Says 33%.
Okay, I figured baby boomers, if you ask the greatest generation before us, it would have been 2%.
Zero.
Yeah, it would have been 2%.
Oh, very small.
And I bet millennials are higher.
Millennials, 41%,
Yeah.
and Gen Z, 52%,
Yeah,
which is good.
see.
That's a good
That's
trend.
a good trend because we're not sharers.
No.
And our
My
parents
family didn't talk about it.
definitely weren't
No.
sharers.
We didn't talk about it. But and money is something that should be discussed inside your family. No question about that. That's one of the ones that they say they're going to do better, and it sounds like they are future generations. Right?
Something you didn't discuss in polite company. Now it's a great topic of discussion.
It is.
With your family.
Yep.
You don't want to do it with strangers because then they're going to try and sell you something.
Which they no doubt will. I came up with a few more, by the way, things that I see as pretty big mistakes that people don't face up to. Number one is most people, their portfolio design does not match their overall financial plan. Rarely. In other words, how much money do you need to make on your money? How much risk you're willing to take? Most people don't think that through. They have a series of kind of investments, ideas, et cetera. It
And
doesn't
how much
match
risk
with
do
the
you
plan.
need to take?
Right.
We run
Well,
into
thank
that
you.
all the time. People going, oh, well, I'm not going to make as much money. Well,
Right.
you don't need to.
Right. You're
Why
not gonna
take
be
that
richer.
extra risk when you don't have to?
You're not going to be richer than Elon Musk. He's the top dog now again.
He's
right?
the top dog now.
And when he gets the sale of SpaceX, that's going to be.
He'll hit $1 trillion, folks.
And
you know,
is a
that's
trillion-
1,000
is that-
billion.
how many thousand-
That's
how many-
1,000 billion.
1,000 billion. So what if he gave
1,000
how much
billion.
if he took that all and divided up among the world's 10
It wasn't
billion?
very much.
I was just curious. Just
It
curious.
really wasn't very much. What are
Okay.
there, 6 billion people in the world?
I couldn't remember seven,
It's like
eight, whatever.
$1.75. It's
Okay, well, I'll take my
Can't even get a
$1.75.
cup of coffee with that in most countries. So
So portfolio doesn't match. Here's another one I see that families are bad at. We're all kind of bad at. Most people, not everybody, but most people are not honest about how much they're spending. It's really hard. It drives me crazy.
I know how much I'm spending. I'm spending everything I'm not saving.
I think that's legit.
Yeah.
It's too much.
If I'm
in my house, it is.
If I'm saving it, I'm not spending it.
Exactly.
There you go.
I still like the automatic. Every 2 weeks comes out of the paycheck, it's gone. And the last one again this is a massive area of confusion, and this is the reason people don't get plans. They're getting advice from salespeople, not actual advisors, people that will do the right thing.
And 10 years ago, when we looked at the numbers, these were the actual numbers per Market Watch. They checked out the registration of every financial advisor type in America, and they found that out of those million or so, or I can't remember what the exact number was, but I do remember what this percentage was, that out of those 1% were registered in a way that always required them to act in your best interests as a fiduciary. If you're a fiduciary, 1%. 1%. So you interview 100 people, on average, one will be a fiduciary. That's what makes it tough. It's tough.
Just
anyway,
crazy.
You got any more?
No, but one thing I do like is that you all are willing to ask us all questions.
Yeah, we love that. And we give you so many ways to ask them. You've got the Talk Directly to Tom way, where you go to meet an advisor or one of our other advisors. Or if you want to ask your question on the podcast, you go to talkingrealmoney.com on the Ask a Question form, and you speak it or you type it. And now, with the demise of the show, we've kept the show radio, or the radio show number, which is 855-935-TALK. You call us at that number.
The number lives on?
The number lives on, 855-935-8255. And one of us will answer your question, like this.
From Rayford, North Carolina, Casey joins us. Casey, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. So what's your question? What do you want to know?
So I think I just need some clarity between high yield savings accounts and bonds. So for some background information, I'm 30 years old and I consider myself to be an aggressive investor. I did take the risk quiz and I scored 71. So definitely on the higher end of that, if that helps. But I still believe I'm in this accumulation or growth phase of my life. So right now my portfolio is 100% in stocks. And on the show, I've heard a lot about investing in bonds or bond funds and having a certain percentage of your portfolio in them, especially as we get closer to retirement. So my two questions are, at what point does someone need to start investing in bonds? And also, what is the difference between holding money in bond ETFs or bond funds when we have high yield savings accounts?
Yeah, those are great questions. Let's start with the high yield savings. So in our mind, high yield savings, that's money you're setting aside to buy a house, buy a car, or emergencies that come up. That's kind of the shorter term money. Anything 1 to maybe 5 years would be a high yield. And right now they're still paying pretty well, right? I mean, you're still getting, I think, close to 4%, so it's not bad. Bonds, on the other hand, are part of your portfolio, the actual longer term investment side that is designed to be the shock absorber, right? When the spring of 2025 comes along, or we have the oil crisis of this spring, whatever it is that makes stocks go down or become much more volatile. You, at age 30, I don't know that you need any bonds yet, but let's just talk about that just for a moment, because you have a risk quiz score, you said, of 71. That suggests there's a little bit of worry in there about markets getting volatile and what's that going to mean to your long term, because as you well know, hopefully, stocks, because they are riskier securities, right? These are investments in companies, have made more, significantly more than bonds, right? Because bond is an IOU, right? They're going to pay you back with the interest and then eventually your principal. So you really do want to be, and you use the word, Casey, aggressive. Aggressive is great. You want to make sure that most of your money is in stocks. For many people, oftentimes I don't suggest they use anything in bonds until maybe even age 40. But you need to decide if you're, as an investor, if you're putting the money into stocks and you're willing to see the balance of that money you've set aside go down by 40 or 50%, like it did in 2008, 2009, or 2000, 2001, things like that. Because if you can't, then maybe you should have a little bit in bonds. And frankly, since you're in a 71, I might want to have 5 to 10% of my money in bonds. It's a very different type of security, so it gives you some diversification there. Just a little bit. And so a bond fund, you've heard us talk about BND, for example, which is a portfolio of thousands of bonds, mostly U.S. government debt, but it'll give you a little bit of cushion for when the dark times arrive, and they always will. So again, back to your question, though. So high yield savings, I think you should have an emergency fund. I think that's where the money would go for that. And again, if you're saving for a car, a house, or some larger purpose, that would be high yield savings, which would be awesome. And then the bond part would be for stability in the portfolio. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
I mean, you're very young. The fact that you're thinking about this is fantastic, and you made a very good point. That most of the time people don't need a whole lot of bonds until they do get closer to retirement, because when you start to take that money out, that's when you want more stability, right? Because if you're drawing on the money and stocks are going up and down, that can be risky and nerve-wracking. So that's the time to do that. But my other question to you really quickly, Casey, would be, in terms of your asset allocation, the stock part, I mean, are you widely diversified? Do you have U.S. companies and international companies and big ones and small ones and growth ones and value, all of that diversification in your portfolio?
I definitely do. Yes, I listen to you guys every day, so I definitely do. I have a lot of diversification.
Then you're just doing it all right to me. So, I mean, you
Okay.
maybe in the next few years, consider throwing a little bit into a bond fund of some kind, keep setting money aside in the high yield savings, as I say, for other things that may come up, and keep at it. You're doing a great job.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Casey. Thanks for joining us here on Talking Real Money.
And as we mentioned, the other way to ask your question is to go to talkingrealmoney.com, and Tom loves it when you type them. Just type those questions up for Tommy Boy, and he'll do this. He'll read them, and then we'll answer them.
Yeah, this is a good one. Comes from Anacortes, Washington. Beautiful Anacortes up in the northwest corner.
Speaking of boa constrictors, that's like a big snake, isn't it? An Anacortes?
David.
Don't they live in the jungle in South America?
David writes us, hello, Don mentioned he has in his 401k a dimensional target date fund.
Yes.
I say,
am I going to get called on this again?
No, I see they have a different approach than the status quo. If you think it's appropriate, maybe you could explain how and why they differ. Thanks.
How and why
dimensional
they
funds
differ from what?
Than the status quo.
Oh, the status quo, which would be just your typical target date fund.
Correct.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yes.
Dimensional believes in spreading the wealth out over far more than just generally large company growth stocks like you tend to get with the S&P 500, or you tend to get with traditional total market funds or traditional target date funds. So what Dimensional believes is that there are some factors of return, and they're very logical factors of return. They basically provide you, or have shown in the past to have provided you with a little bit of additional return if you overemphasize these asset classes. And those asset classes, well, there are a number of them, but the main ones are small company stocks. You want to own more small companies than big companies because, well, a couple of reasons. One, small companies have more room to grow. Yes, they're more dangerous because they also have more room to fall. They go out of business. They, though, are riskier, and risk adds return, generally speaking. That's one of the factors that adds return, is taking risk. The other is value. Again, a riskier asset class. They also tend to have money in emerging markets, which a lot of target date funds skip. They spread the wealth out around the world. They really give you a massively diversified portfolio that's overweighted to those we hope, overperforming asset classes they have in the past.
Yeah, they also offer exposure to things like profitability, quality.
I didn't want to get in the weeds with all those other. There are, I think, what do they have now? Is it 5 or 6? How many factors? Six factors. Yeah. The big ones originally were small in value.
Well, the biggest one was exposure to stocks. Then
it was stocks, right? Yeah, having equities in your portfolio, then value and small, and then they discovered. I love this. They discovered and this is only through research. You've got to research this to make sure. They discovered that more profitable companies actually made more money.
Surprised?
It took research.
Yes, it took a lot of research, a lot
But
of people.
see, they're very data-driven at Dimensional.
Yeah.
If they can't say, well, this is logical, let's do it. It's no, maybe logical, but it may not work in the long run. We got to make sure it has.
So they look back and said these
Look back,
things
they worked.
have made a
Yeah.
difference in returns over the long haul.
Yep.
Not all the time. So,
Yep.
yeah, both Don and I use a dimensional target date. Of course, he uses a target date fund, much closer to today's number. I'm still way out in the future. 'Cause
Way
I'm
close
way younger.
to today.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
I think actually I have a
I don't remember what I had.
2030, I think it may be 2030.
Yeah.
I think.
So, yes, we like them. We like the product. And if I had the option, as I do, I would use them instead of a more standard offering from traditional provider.
Yeah, if I had a choice between a Vanguard target date and a dimensional target date, I'd take the dimensional target date any day of the week.
There you go.
Just because of that exposure to those other asset classes. Yes, I pay a little more for it. I do. My expense ratio is higher. But I don't believe it's higher enough to make a difference when you factor in what the history has been of those asset classes adding return. So I'm willing to take that chance. And guess what? When we invest, if you want to make more money than inflation, literally you have to take a chance. No matter what anybody tells you, making substantially more than inflation always involves taking risk. I don't care what these folks who package these products tell you. That's pretty much a fact across the board. Risk and return are connected. That's why you get the return. Anything else you'd like to add before we shuffle off?
I would say,
this mortal coil.
Yeah, I'm taking my second time out here. I want to say thank you to all the people who have reached out to us this year. There's been a lot. I just looked at the numbers.
Is this the end of the year? Is this the end of the year show?
I just got back in the first quarter.
You sound like you're reminiscing.
I am reminiscing. I'm saying thank you for the great first quarter and in my life, the great first 3.5 quarters. So keep them coming. Questions at talkingrealmoney.com. Want to meet an advisor, want to chat it up? Yeah, do that too, because we're happy to discuss your personal situation with you. I'm taking my third time out here and saying goodbye. So how that?
Yeah, give us a call, 855-935-TALK. Send your questions in at talkingrealmoney.com. And if you want to talk with a real live advisor and not get a high-pressure sales pitch, not get charged even for a conversation, just go to talkingrealmoney.com, click that button that says Meet an Advisor. I promise you, you will not regret doing it because it's painless. Thanks for listening to Talking Real Money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.